Alrighty, I got a quick one for you. This is an EzGo D503 36-volt golf cart. And my cousin was complaining that she bought this one used 6 months ago. Had the batteries checked, they were all fine. It was having some issues, ended up being a charger. She bought a new one. And then now, 6 months later, she took it for a long ride down a bumpy road, came back, and all of a sudden the thing didn't have any power. Wouldn't last like hardly any time at all. Called me over to come take a look real quick just to see whether the whole thing was ruined or if it was just something simple. And thankfully it was something simple. So it ended up being 2 dead batteries. So I'm going to show you real quick how to test this will apply to a 36 and a 48 volt system, just to check to see if all of your batteries are, totally alive. They don't have any dead cells. This won't tell you whether or not they've lost capacity or anything like that, but this will tell you whether or not you just have a flat out dead cell, which means an internal short, which means that you're amperage limited and you have reduced voltage. So you just get a voltmeter, hook it up to DC voltage, make sure you're in a range that'll accept up to 50 volts, and just hook her on up to both the positive and the negative terminal. And as you can see, we're at 31 volts. This system is mostly charged. It's not fully charged. It's probably down about a half volt because it's been sitting for a couple weeks. But it shows us 31. It's supposed to be 36. Tells us it's 4 volts low, which with these 3-cell batteries, and these are 6-volt batteries, that means we're down probably a full 2 cells. So we've got 2 dead cells somewhere in here. And if I back this sucker off, hook her up over there, and we check the voltage on this battery, you see we get 3.8 volts. These are 6-volt batteries, and they're charged. These 4 over here read 5.8. These 2 read 3.8. Now, if you do the math, that's exactly 33% less. And if you look right here, these are 6-volt batteries, so we have 3 2-volt cells. Car battery is a 12-volt battery, and it has 6 2-volt cells. If you ever check a car battery and it reads 10.5 exactly after it's sat for about 24 hours after being charged, you got a dead cell. And with the 6-volt, if you read about 4, you got a dead cell. So I ran this test already. This one is also 3.8. So we have exactly 2 dead cells out of 1 each battery. So if we replace these 2 batteries, we should be good to go. Now these are Continental 2 GC110s. I don't know if these are, OEM manufacturer for the EzGo, but they're 185 amp hour batteries, or 185, reserve capacity batteries. And I'm going to go get some 115 batteries from the local auto parts store, because that's all I can get. And it's the day before Thanksgiving, and her grandkids are going to be here tomorrow, and they want to drive around the golf cart. So I'm going to do what I can. This is not a cheap fix. Those batteries are, after tax, are $150 a piece. So this is a $300 fix right here. If you've got more than 2 that are bad, I'd just say buy a whole 6-pack. You can get them from Trojan or Continental for around $750, and if you do the math, it's cheaper. Well, it's probably identical to the same price, and you get a better battery with a better warranty that's purpose-built for these golf carts, and you can just buy all 6 at the same time and have peace of mind. Also, the core charges on these things at my local auto parts store are like $28 a piece, which is insane. But anywho, I'm going to shut up, get back, place that, and show you that's working. Oh, and one quick note. These suckers are, they're 65 pounds each. So you need a strap and a back. So I'm going to go blow out mine, huck these in the car, and run down to the auto parts store, and hopefully they got 2 in town. Alright, batteries are in the truck. I know what I can squat now, and it's well over 130. Back hurts a little bit, though. So we're going to run into town, buy some more, and get some Corvette rims swapped, and just ignore those, though, and throw them back in and hope that fixes the problem. Thank you, O'Reilly's. My cousin's $302 poorer, but 2 new batteries richer. And hopefully they have enough reserve capacity. No, they're 120. They're better than the Advanced Auto ones. To run just fine on them old Continentals, I hope, I pray. Alright, well, we're back, and I got the new batteries installed, and I took it for a test drive, and now we're running into a different problem. I don't think anything's broken, but I think these other four batteries are just dead. So, the obvious solution is plug in the golf cart charger. Well, the charger's not smart, and it doesn't have any way to, fluctuate the voltage. It doesn't have any different amperage settings. So I plugged it in, let it sit for 30 minutes. Went in, talked to my cousin, came back out, and it was boiling these two batteries, and they both had 7.5 volts in them, and everything else was still 6.2. So these four batteries are about pretty much all the way dead, and these two have full charges. So when you plug in the thing, it just dumps 38 volts right into the system. Well, that'll boil these batteries, because I came in here and I opened this up and I heard gurgling and it smelled like hydrogen sulfide, rotten eggs. So it's boiling the sulfuric acid in the electrolyte, which is not a good sign. So thankfully, she's got a 6 volt 15 amp battery charger here, so I am individually charging the other four batteries so I can get all four of those all the way up so that I can then plug in the battery charger and it can charge everything and then successfully detect when all six are fully charged. Because if I plug it in right now, it sees like 34 volts from the system, so it goes, okay, it's low, and it just dumps 38 volts in. Well, these get the same voltage as all of these, so these get overcharged at the same time that these are getting charged. So anywho, that's going to be very tedious, and our grandkids are just not going to have a golf cart to play around with tonight. They're going to have to wait till tomorrow. Alright, so I got a little trick for you. If you don't have a 6 volt charger, you can use a 12 volt charger. You just hook two batteries up in series and then you charge them simultaneously at half the rate you'd be charging one 6 volt. So rather than take 30 minutes to charge one battery and 30 minutes to charge the other battery, it'd take an hour to charge both at the same time. And so I've just got that set up to 15 amp automatic, and we'll see whether or not that charges or not. So another thing to note is that these two that I bought have different reserve capacities, which theoretically means that they have different charging rates. So probably not ideal, but that's all I could get, in town this, the day before Thanksgiving. So theoretically, these will discharge faster, and then they may recharge at a different rate, and that could mean that these consistently boil, and these may not be an ideal substitute, but we can hope that it won't do that. They're the same size. They're both GC110s, so they're both 2GC group size. So I'm hoping that they both have the same discharge rate. These are 75 amp rated, but they're 120 minute reserve capacity. These Continental says are 185 minute reserve capacity, but they won't say what their amp rating is. That might be 120 minutes at 75 amps. This may be pulling 50 amps, in which case, bada bing, bada boom, 180 hour reserve capacity, I think. I'm going to run home and throw some tires on a Corvette, come back, and hopefully haven't burned the garage down. Day in my life, come home to charge batteries. There's a rattlesnake on the front porch, so I got to go haul them 300 foot across the yard to go put them back in the woods. No, go that way, mister. If anyone ever tells you that cane brakes are violent, I just hauled this guy 300 foot across my yard, and he didn't even rattle once. Half dragging him on the ground. Come on now. Cane brakes just want to be left alone, especially when it's like 55 out. Come on, other way. Come over here. Over here, buddy. No. Okay, well now he's a little mad. Anywho, I'm gonna not be this far from one. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, now stay over there. Now. Alright, mister? I know there's squirrels here. Just wait. Alright, so the rattlesnake has been safely disposed of in the neighbor's woods, and alive and well. And I picked up my old house fire of a battery charger, and we're going to see if we can double team this thing and get it all done before her grandkids get there at 6 tonight. And I got 2 hours, so let's get to it. Alright, well, we're back out here, and I got it hooked back up to the other set in series. Alright, so I actually realized that I can run both at the same time because I'm stupid and I forgot that these are converters, or whatever the opposite of an inverter is. Since these take 120 volt AC and convert it to 12 volt DC, they're actually, multiplying the amperage as they cut the voltage. So that guy only pulls 3 amps, and that guy probably only pulls 2 amps. So that's 5 amps off of one circuit. It's 15 amps AC. So it should be good. They're outputting 25 amps, but they're not pulling 25 amps. Feel me? I'm not an electro magician. I'm a biologist, but anywho. Yeah, my old house fire of a Sears ain't too happy. It's just pulling like 13 amps right now, which it is not designed to do, but it is designed to put out 50 amps instantaneous, so it can take it for a short minute, but I don't think I want to run that for more than about 5 minutes at 13 amps. Alright, so here's what I've done. I just took the new batteries, plopped them over there, set all 4 used batteries right here, and then I have just bypassed the new batteries so that we have a 24 volt system right here, and this charger is just 2 plugs that run to this bundle right here, which runs up through this loom right to here, and just positive there, negative there, so there is nothing in the cart that is controlling the charging in any way, shape, or form. Don't know what this red guy does, but it goes down in this loom, pops out here, and plugs into this thing, and I don't know what the heck that is, but seems to be something related to the shifter down here, so I don't know if that's like an interlock, so that if it's charging, you can't move the cart. Don't know. Probably. But anywho, it's just hot, straight to the batteries. So long as this charger recognizes that this is a 24 volt system, this should work just fine. It should charge all 4 of these batteries independently, and hopefully it shouldn't just suddenly explode in a massive fire. I hope. Also, I went through and I checked the fluid level and everything. I think this guy is a touch, a little bit lower than I like, but nothing is low. We've got like a ½ inch above the plates on everything. I don't have any distilled water anyway, so nothing I can really do at the moment. I'd rather not dump tap water in there and ruin them. Additionally, I did some more research on these batteries. These are 225 amp hour batteries, and those are 225 amp hour batteries. So these are 185 reserve capacity at, I'm assuming, 50 amps. And these are 120 minute reserve capacity at 75 amps. So I looked it up. I've got the spec sheet for the Continentals. They're 225 amp hours. So these are the exact same capacity. So it's not a problem in that regard. It's just whether or not these are old and worn out and missing capacity, or, something like that, or they're just not, they have internal resistance and they're just not charging fast or something. I don't know. Again, not an electro magician. But I'm going to plug this thing in and see if it just bursts into flames. And also, apparently, this guy has a Bluetooth setting. So I'm going to see if I can connect to this app and see if I can get some live data from that to better figure out what the heck is going on. But it was fighting me yesterday, and I now have the manual, so I can at least tell what all the codes are, because it couldn't just have an LCD display or something like that if they're going to go through the effort of having Bluetooth and apps and all this other stuff. They could have just had a display with just a little simple 6-character display that just gives you a code or something, but whatever, I digress. I'm going to plug this thing in and hope for the best. Alright, wish me luck. It's going. Alrighty, this has been charging for probably an hour, and batteries seem to be taking a charge. They're up to about probably 6.2 now, so they should all be even, but I'm just going to charge these independently here for probably another. I'm probably going to charge all these full before I hook anything up. But yeah, it seems to be working. So it looks like they were just dead. Alright, we have progress, and I think we may have success. So she's been charging all 6 of them hooked up now for the last 20 minutes. And no boiling, no hydrogen sulfide smell. That's all it was. It was just dissimilar batteries. That charger was just dumping amperage into here, and it was boiling the old batteries. Now that they're similar, it's able to successfully throttle it back. So I got everything up to within about 0.05 volts of each other, hooked them all back up, set it to charge, and it's going. It's been going for 20 minutes. It hasn't boiled the batteries yet, so I think we're finally good. So they're going to let this sit overnight, and my cousin's son is going to come out here and check on this every 30 minutes to an hour just to make sure it's not doing anything funny. And if it's not, then they can let it charge overnight, and it should be good to go in the morning. All right, well, that's good to go. That was way more effort than I thought it was going to be, but I learned something valuable, so it's worth the effort. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, go down there, give it a like, comment, tell me if you had a similar problem and if this helped you out. And if you want to see more golf cart stuff, probably not going to ever do anything else with one, but if you want, go down there, smash that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm out.